Hello students, today we will be starting with the second phase of compilation, that is syntax analysis phase. This will be unit number 2nd, and before studying this we got through the details of lexical analysis phase in unit number 1, where we see that uh, any source program is given as input to the lexical analysis phase, which tries to find out the possible tokens in it and generates a stream of token. Now this token of stream is passed to the second phase of compilation, that is syntax analysis. In this unit we will see what happens to that stream of tokens in the syntax analysis phase. So this is these are the topics that we will be covering in unit number 2, and we have parsers, shift reduce parsing, operator precedence parsing, top down parsing, predictive parsing, construction of efficient parsers, LR parsers, SLR, CLR, LALR parsers. So these all are the different types of parsers that perform syntax analysis phase, and we will study all these parsers in detail. So the very first term that comes in our mind whenever we talk about syntax analysis phase is what is parser. So parser is a software or is a program that performs the syntax analysis phase, that obtains the string from the string of tokens from lexical analyzer, and it finds out whether that string is according to the syntax of the programming language or not. So how does it do? It takes the help of the grammar of the source language. Suppose you have written a program in C language, so it takes the help of the grammar rules, production rules of the C language, and then it tries to find out whether the string of token received from the first phase is according to the syntactic specification or not. If it is, then the string is considered as valid, but if it is not according to the syntactic specification, it is considered as invalid, and it is considered to be having to have syntax errors in it. So if the string is valid, the parser constructs parse tree of that string and passes it to the third phase, else it reports the syntax errors to the error handler, and uh, and the error handler works on the syntax errors, and it floats the proper message to the user that these are the following syntax errors in this statement. So in short, what is the purpose of what is the work of parser? It finds out whether the given statement is according to the syntactic specification or not. If it is, it generates its corresponding parse tree, and if it is not according to the syntax, it reports syntax error of that statement. Now there are different types of parsers. We can broadly classify the parsers into 3 categories. One is universal parsers, second is top down, and third is bottom up parser. So what are universal parsers? These parsers can parse any type of grammar, and these are the general methods that can perform parsing on any type of grammar, but they are very inefficient to use because every grammar has its pros and cons, every grammar has its limitations. So these parsers cannot be efficiently applied on each and every grammar. So still we have some of the methods like which perform universal parsing, which can be applied on any grammar. We have methods like Koch, Younger, Kasami algorithm and Early's algorithm, but again, as I told earlier, that these are very inefficient to be used in compiler construction. Then we have top down parsers. So how does top down parsers work? They build parse tree from the top to the bottom, as the name suggests, and the top of the tree is root and the bottom of the tree is leaves, while the bottom up parsers, they start from the leaves and they work on the up to the root. So whether you can apply top down parsing or bottom up parsing, it all depends on the grammar you are using. So we cannot apply any method to any grammar. It depends on the type of the grammar on which top down parsing or bottom up parsing can be applied. In either case, the input to the parser is scanned from left to right, one symbol at a time. So whatever the case may be, whether it is universal parser or whether it is top down parser or bottom up parser, every time in any of the case, the input to the parser, that is the string of tokens, will always be scanned from left to right with one symbol at a time. Now parser representation of parse tree. Parse trees can be of two types depending on which parsing we are applying. So parse tree can be leftmost or rightmost. In unit number 1 we also recalled the concept of derivations. So what are derivations? These are the step by step sequence of application of production rules, and with the help of derivations we try to find out whether a particular string is derivable from the production rules or not. So we derivations are the sequence of steps. If we want to represent derivations in graphical form, we construct parse trees. So as derivations can be leftmost or rightmost, similarly parse trees can also be leftmost or rightmost. Rightmost derivations are also known as canonical derivations, and whenever a parse tree is constructed and if we traverse that parse tree in pre-order form, then it gives the steps which will be performed in leftmost derivations. Now this is the grammar. This is a simple example. This is a grammar, and here S, C and S, they are the non-terminals, and I, T, E, A and B are the terminals. So they correspond to the if else construct. So let us see what how does it work. So here the first statement is S drives I, C, T, S. Here S is a statement, any statement. Suppose we are considering C language, so it can be any statement. I refers to if, C refers to the condition. Since if is a token, because if is a keyword, we studied in unit number 1 that if is a token, so it is written as terminal. Then capital C is a non-terminal, it is a condition, and condition can be further derived. Condition can have operands, it can have operators. So it is not a basic element, it can further be divided, it can be further derived. So it is represented as non-terminal. Then this is the statement is if condition then if you are working on a programming language that uses then with if, so here then is a terminal again because it will be a keyword, then statement. So it is this statement refers to the normal if construct, that if this particular condition is true, then execute these following statements. So the first production rules corresponded to this type of if construct. Then second we have again a detailed form of if else if construct. If condition then statement else statement. So this production rule corresponds to if else construct, that you have if condition also and you have else condition also. Here S, that is a statement, it could be anything, it could be A, it could be any terminal, like you have S here. So some type of statement should be there, some printf statement should be there, or some evaluation computation step should be there. So here A can be replaced with these S can be replaced with this A. So here A can be anything, it could be print statement, it could be an expression, okay. And here C is the condition, so here C drives B. Again B is again a terminal which will be replaced here by C. So here B can represent any of the conditions, it could be a combination of operands as well as operators. So here this is a grammar representing if else construct. So suppose we are given this string W is equals to IBT IBT AEA. So how can we drive the string from these production rules? So as I told earlier in the first unit, that if we are able to drive this string with these production rules, we say that this string is valid. So here we will apply leftmost derivation. So how will it work? Let's see. So here you have W is equals to IB. So here we perform leftmost derivation. So starting with the start symbol of production rule, we have I, C, T, S. Okay, so leftmost derivation always works from left to right. Here we start with left and we replace the first occurrence of any non-terminal with its corresponding production. So here we are seeing that in this string we are having B. So here we can replace this C with B because we have this production C to B. So here we can replace the first occurrence of non-terminal, that is C, with B. Okay, then T is again a terminal, then we have S. Now moving from the again from left to right, I, B, T, these both are terminals. So here S is non-terminal. Okay, so you can see that here we have scanned these three terminals I, B, T. Now we have to scan these remaining. So we can replace this S with this one production because we have a long string. So we will replace this S with the second one. So here it will become I, B, T, and this S will be replaced with I, C, T, S, E, S. Now again we will start with left. So here I, B, T, I, the four are terminals, so we won't do anything with them. Then we have C, again a non-terminal. So now we have completed till now. So we can replace this C with B because we have this production. So we will see I, B, T, I, B, T, S, E, S. Now the next non-terminal in this string is, starting with left, it is S. So this S can be replaced with A. Okay, so it will be I, B, T, I, B, A, sorry, it is T. So we have B, then we have T, then this S can be replaced with A, then we have E, then this S can again be replaced with A. So we in the finally we have derived this input string with these production rules. Then we can say that this string is according to these production rules and this string is valid. So in this way we perform derivation on given string. So these are the derivation steps if you perform leftmost procedure. Then if we have to construct parse tree for the same statements, then how will we do? So here we have S, then we can expand it with I, C, T, S. Then this C can be replaced with B, and this N can be replaced with I, C, T, S, E, S. Now this C is again a non-terminal. It can be replaced with B. This S can be replaced with A, and this S can be replaced with A. So we traverse this parse tree. We get input string I, then we get B, then we get C, T, then we get I again, then we get B, then we get T, then we get A, then we get E, and then we get A. So this is the same input string that we were given. So we can say that this string is valid according to the given production rules. Now the next topic is shift reduce parsers. So here we are given this grammar. So we are given S2 A A G E. Okay, production rules are here. So we will just start with the reduction process. So you are given the string A, B, C, C, D, E. So we will be starting with left to right scanning. So we will see first we have obtained A. So there is nothing in RHS which is only A. Okay, here there is followed by E, C, D, E. Here there is no small a, here there is no small a. So we will move further, we will see here is B. So here we can replace this B with capital A. So here we will write A, capital A, B, C, D, E. Then we will again scan left to right. Here again A, so कोई हमारे पास reduction process नहीं है. Then here we have A, B. So and in the productions we have A, B and RHS. Here A drives A, B. Okay. So here we will replace A with capital A. Then we have C, D, E. This is E. Okay. Now starting again with scanning from left to right. Here we have received A, A, C. There is nothing in RHS. We don't have anything with A, A, C. So we will first reduce this D with capital B. So here we have A, A, C, D, E. Now this A, A, C, D, E can be reduced with S. So since starting with the string we have obtained this, we have reached to the start symbol of the grammar, then we can say that this statement or this string is according to the grammar rules of this given production rules. Now now there are certain terms which we will be using in shift reduce parsing. One is here we replace B with capital A, here we replace with AB with capital A, here we replaced D with capital B, and here we replaced A, C, D, E with capital S. So these things, the replacements, okay, whatever we are replacing, they are known as handles. Okay, and this process of reducing these things into some non-terminals, okay, this process is known as reduction. So bottom-up parsing is all about reduction and generating handles. Sometimes it happens that whenever we try to reduce the RHS with some LHS, sometimes it is possible that we don't get the proper we don't get the start symbol. Okay, so suppose if we are given a production A to beta, okay, and we have beta in RHS, somewhere we have beta, and so we reduce it with A, but finally we don't arrive to the start symbol. This shows that this beta is not a proper handle. Let's see with the example. So suppose we have the same string. Okay. Now starting with again left to right scan. Here we have A, here we have B. Okay. So here we have replaced with B with capital A. The same production rules are there. Okay. Now again in the previous approach what we did, we replaced this whole AB. Okay. But now if we go on some other side, like if we don't replace this AB with A, if we replace this B with A again, okay, so we will reach with A, C, D, E. Now again, if we scan from left to right, we have A, capital A, C, then we have small d. Now we can replace this small d with capital B. Okay. Now we are nowhere, we are trapped at this state because we have nothing in the given production, we have nothing like that in RHS of the productions. So we can't reduce it. So this is a trap state, which means that this B was not a handle. This B was not a handle. So we tried to reduce this B with capital A. This was the mistake that we performed. So not all RHS, not all beta are handles. So this is the thing which on which shift reduce parsing has some concern. Okay, so this we have to see whether whatever we are reducing is a proper handle or not. Now bottom-up parser, so I told you two terms. Bottom-up parsers deals with reduction and it deals with handles. Now there is one more thing that is one of the important property of bottom-up parser, and that is see the last point. Bottom-up parsing during the left to right scan of the input constructs rightmost derivation in reverse. Okay, so this is the one of the most important property of bottom-up parsing, that it constructs or it follows rightmost derivation in reverse. So if you see this construction of this derivation, then you will find out that here A, B, E was there. So here we tried to, okay, this was not the correct one. See this one. Okay, in this example what we did कि rightmost में क्या होता है कि we start with the rightmost non-terminal. Okay, so here what we did, here B was here B, if we replace B with D, okay, and here if we replace A with AB, and here if we replace AB, so what happens कि rightmost derivation in reverse का मतलब क्या हो गया कि जो rightmost derivation का प्रोसीजर है बॉटम अप पार्शियल उसकी रिवर्स अप्रोच फॉलो करता है. दैट हेयर आपने स्टार्टिंग से शुरू किया, बट वॉट एवर जो प्रोसीजर आपने फॉलो किया इट वॉज rightmost derivation, बट इसने रिवर्स बेमेज पर काम किया. सो इट इज़ अगेन वन ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ बॉटम अप पार्सिंग. नाउ हैंडल, एज आई टोल्ड यू कि हैंडल क्या होता है, एनीथिंग जो RHS में होती है जिसको हम उसके करस्पॉन्डिंग LHS से रिप्लेस करते हैं, that is a handle. So a handle is a substring that matches the body of the production and whose reduction represents one step along the reverse of a rightmost derivation. Okay, so it is a substring which matches the RHS of the production और जिसको हम LHS से replace करते हैं. And whatever thing, suppose this is the statement, okay, in which you are trying to replace B. So this statement is known as right sentential form, and whatever you are trying to replace is known as handle. So if a grammar is unambiguous, then it is said that every right sentential form has exactly one handle. मतलब अगर आपकी ग्रामर unambiguous है तो जो आप जिस स्टेटमेंट में आप रिडक्शन लगाने जा रहे हो वहाँ पर आपको exactly one handle ही मिलेगा, वहाँ पर कोई ambiguity नहीं होगी. Now consider this following example. Here we have given this grammar, and we have given this input string id1 plus id2 into id3. So how shift reduce parsing works, let us see. So here we have E drives E plus E drives E into E, and here we have id. Okay, and the given input string is id plus id into id. since these are different IDs, so हमने इनको numbering, it is given here ID1 plus ID2 and into ID3. Okay, so how it will work? So whatever the statements you are having, suppose this is the statement, so as I told earlier कि जिस पर हम reduction लगाते हैं जिस इन statements पर, that are known as right sentential form. Okay, and here we will write the production which will be using for applying reduction, and here we will write the handle. So initially you have ID plus ID1 plus ID2 into ID3. So while we scan from left to right, we have one handle ID1. Okay, so can we apply reduction? Yes, we have a production E to ID, so we can replace this ID with E. So reducing production is E to ID. So here we will replace this ID1 with E. Now we have E plus ID2 into ID3. Now here plus will not be done. Now the other handle is ID2. Again we will scan from left to right. Don't forget this, whenever some input is given, you have to scan left to right. Okay, you won't go for right to left. Always the input string will be scanned left to right. Again this is a handle, so we will replace it with E to ID. Now again we have E plus E into ID3. Now in this string, moving from left to right, we have E plus E, then into, then here we have ID3. So again we will replace this ID3 with E. Okay, so now we have E plus E into E. Now since it works, it follows rightmost derivation in reverse. Now our whole input string is scanned, so we can move from now right to left, and we will find out what can be the possible handle. So if we move from E into E, so E into E is a handle. So once you scan the whole input string, then you move from right to left, since bottom-up parser follows rightmost derivation approach in reverse. Now what could be the possible reduction step? E drives E into E. Now this can be written as E plus E. Now this E plus E, again this whole string is a handle, so you will write here E plus E. So you will write E to E plus E, and this E will be reduced as E. So if you if you come to the start symbol of the given input string of the grammar, then you can conclude that this string is valid. So here handle is nothing, and here you can write that this string is acceptable, this string is valid. So this is how this shift reduce parsing approach works, and this process in which you scan the input from left to right and you tries to find out the handle and you perform reduction. This step is known as handle pruning. So how does it works? It scans the input string from left to right, and after the whole input string is scanned, then it works from right to left, then it follows rightmost derivation approach in reverse. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Okay, now moving to the next slide. So while the we have if we have to perform the shift reduce parsing approach, then the best way to implement this parser is the use of stack. So when this is one of the program in your compiler lab also, so when you will be performing shift reduce parsing, so this is use of stack is one of the best approach while implementing it. And how it goes, that we use a stack to hold the grammar rules, grammar symbols, and we use a input buffer which holds the string, input string. Initially the stack is marked with dollar, and the right side of the input buffer is also marked with dollar, as shown in the last point. Here we have a stack and input buffer. Input buffer contains the string w. So initially the stack is marked with dollar sign. This represents that the stack is empty, and the input buffer, the end of input buffer is also marked with dollar. Okay, now what happens if we use a stack? So the same thing will be done. We perform left to right scan, and we shift one or more input symbols to the stack, and if we will get some handle, then we will reduce that handle to with the LHS of the production rule. Okay, so let us see how it works. So this is the stack implementation of the same question, that we had e to e plus e, or e into e or id, and the input string is id plus id into id. So how does it works? Let us see. So here there are two operations, actions that will be performed in this stack implementation. One is shift operation, another one is reduce operation. So shift operation means that whenever you have the input, whenever you have any of the terminal in the input, and you will come across any terminal, okay, you will shift it onto the stack. Okay, and if you find out that on the top of the stack if there is some हैंडल, अगर स्टैक के टॉप पर कोई हैंडल मिल रहा है जिसको हम रिड्यूस कर सकते हैं, देन यू विल परफॉर्म द रिडक्शन स्टेप. सो देयर आर बेसिकली 4 ऑपरेशन. वन इज शिफ्ट ऑपरेशन, इन विच आप बफर से एक एक एलिमेंट स्टैक में पुश करते हैं. देन यू परफॉर्म रिडक्शन, अगर आपको स्टैक के टॉप पर इफ़ यू गेट सम हैंडल तो आप उसे रिड्यूस करते हैं. इफ़ योर होल स्ट्रिंग इज़ एक्सेप्टेड, अगर आपकी पूरी स्ट्रिंग एम्प्टी हो जाती है एंड एट द टॉप ऑफ द स्टैक you have only start symbol of the grammar, then you say that your string is accepted. and if your whole input string is emptied, पूरी यूज़ हो जाती है बट स्टैक के टॉप पर आपको स्टार्ट सिंबल नहीं मिलता है, then you say that it is failure. Okay, so these 4 operations will be performed. Now let us see how stack implementation works. So we have e2 e plus e2 e into e2 parenthesized id, and the input string w is equals to id1 plus id2 into id3. Now how it will work? We have a stack, okay, here we have input buffer, and here we have action. What action will be performed? So as I told, initially stack will be empty, so we will mark it empty stack with dollar. Initially the input is id1 plus id2 into id3, then we will mark it with dollar and we will start. So first of all operation will be there. What will be? We will perform shift, because stack में कुछ भी नहीं है तो हम shift करेंगे सबसे पहले. So we will shift the first element of input, because scanning will always work from left to right. Okay, so we will shift id1 into stack, then input remains plus id2 into id3, then dollar. Is this id1 handle? Yes, because id1 is the RHS of this production, e2 id. So we can replace this id1 with e. So we will reduce it e2 id. So here this will be $E. Okay, now the next symbol is plus, so this plus will be shifted to stack. And which operation is said to be performed? We have performed shift. Now is this plus any can perform any reduction? No, because only plus is not there. So what will we do? We will again shift next symbol. So E plus ID2, okay, into ID3 dollar. ID2 is again we have performed shift. Now is this ID2 is any handle? Yes, so we can write it as E plus E. So reduce by E to ID. Okay, now again we have dollar. Now again the input string is again not here E plus E. We have E plus E, it is a handle, but keep in mind that first of all you have to scan the string as a whole, then only you will start performing reduction, any other reduction. So still we have input string, we have two symbols, so we won't reduce this E plus E. Okay, you have to keep in mind because most of the students makes this mistake. Now we will shift this into stack. So shift again, into is not a handle, so we will shift ID3 into stack. Now this ID3 can be reduced to E, it is a handle. Now we will start performing reduction. So top of the stack we have E into E, top of the stack. So whatever it will be there in the top of the stack, it will be reduced. So you will reduce this E into E with E. So you will say reduce by E drives E into E. Now we have E plus E, so this will be again reduced to capital E. Okay, now here we have dollar, यानी कि all input is, the whole input string is empty, and here we have start symbol at the top of the stack, so we can say that this string is acceptable. Okay, so this is the stack implementation of shift reduce parsing. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Now what are the possible operations in shift reduce parsing? So as I told just few minutes back that we have shift operation. When we shift the input symbol onto the stack, top of the stack, then we perform reduction. If we have anything which is a handle which is present on the top of the stack, then accept state when the whole input is used and and there is a start symbol at the top of the stack. Then the last operation is error or failure, that the whole input is emptied but still we haven't got any start symbol in the top of the stack, so we say that it is syntax error. So these are the possible operations in shift reduce parsing. Now why stack is used, why I said that stack is the is one of the efficient implementation of shift reduce parsing, because in this case you don't always have to find out which is handle, because whatever whichever handle will be there, it will always be present at the top of stack. हैंडल हमेशा स्टैक के टॉप पर ही प्रेजेंट रहेगा. यू डोंट हैव टू सर्च एनीवेयर एल्स. देयरफॉर स्टैक इज the considered as efficient implementation, efficient data structure in implementing shift reduce parsing. Now what are the conflicts in shift reduce parsing? What are the problems that can occur in shift reduce parsing? Let us see those conflicts. So there are certain context free grammars for which shift reduce parsing cannot be reduced. As I told in the starting of the unit, that we can't perform any type of parsing on any type of grammar. Okay, so there are certain cases in which shift reduce parsing doesn't work, and such cases are known as conflicts. So we have two conflicts that may happen. One is shift reduce conflict, which is now highlighted here. So we have shift reduce conflict, and the other we have reduce conflict. Okay, so shift reduce conflict is the problem in which we can't decide whether we have to shift the symbol from the input or we have to perform the reduction on top of the stack. Okay, so we have a confusion state there. And reduce conflict is that case in which there are two possible reductions. They can more than one possible reductions can be applicable. So हम ये decide नहीं कर पाते कि which production or which reduction can be applied. So we will see these things as with the help of an example. So what happens in shift reduce parsing, in when we have what can be the conflicts? Let us see those. So here consider see the last point. So here we have a statement, and its RHS is a if expression, then a statement. Okay, this is a if else this is the if else construct, and here it is dangling as problem. Okay, other is if expression, then a statement, else a statement, and there is some other statement. Okay, so we will see what happens if we parse if we are given with some input string and we parse using these production rules. So let us see. So suppose at some state of time you have this type of thing on top of a stack, if expression, then a statement. Okay, and in the input you have else. Okay, so it can be possible that if this is the case of that you have some handle at the top of the stack, ये जो if expression then statement है, this was the one of the RHS of one of the production. ठीक है, it was C. Okay, so this is RHS. So either we can reduce this thing or we have the same thing in this production also. So here या तो हम यहाँ पे इस अगर हम इस स्टेटमेंट को कंसिडर करें, ओके, सो देन वी शुड परफॉर्म रिडक्शन. अगर हम इस स्टेटमेंट को कंसिडर करें, देन यहाँ तक तो स्टैक पर है, देन वी शुड परफॉर्म शिफ्ट ऑन द स्टैक. So here we are in the state of confusion that what can we do? Should we reduce this handle, okay, or should we shift this input onto the stack? So this is known as shift reduce conflict. Okay, and it depends on the programming language that what should be done. So what happens that see the last point, if we resolve the shift reduce conflict on else in favor of the shifting, the parser will behave as we expect, associating each else with the previous unmatched den. मतलब एक dangling else problem होती है which I discussed earlier also, that whenever if there are no braces there in the code, then what you do, the if you have multiple if and else, then the last else should be connected with the previous then. Okay, so uh, if if we see the C approach, what happens in C language, it associates the last else with the previous then. So in this case, if it would be the statement of C language, then this else would be pushed onto the stack. So the how this thing will be resolved, it depends on language, that what procedure or what things are considered in regarding some particular statements. So this is known as shift reduce conflict. Another conflict is reduce reduce conflict. Okay, so consider this a statement here, the one of the configuration of a stack. Here we have a stack and here we have input. Okay, and we have, suppose this is a statement in some language p I comma j. So अगर हम इसका token stream generate करेंगे, so it will become like id id comma id. Here p is a function and having two arguments, so function name is also id and arguments are also ids. Okay, suppose we are at this configuration, suppose id braces brackets and id, this has been pushed onto stack, and then we have comma, then we have id, then we have closing braces. Okay, so what happens, how will it work, let us see. So suppose you have a production rule. Okay, now what happens that here in this case, what happens that this is a case in which this जो p I comma j है, it can be considered as a function also, and it can be considered as array also, because when you write the production rules, then what happens, जब आप किसी language के production rules बनाते हो, तो आप उसमें हर एक कंस्ट्रक्ट उसमें आप ऐड करते हो. यू विल प्रोडक्शन रूल्स में आपके लूप्स भी होंगे, इफ देन एल्स भी होगा, फंक्शन डेफिनेशंस भी होंगी, हाउ फंक्शंस आर रिटन, एरेज भी होंगे. सो दिस पी आई कॉमा जे जो है ये आपका एरे का भी एरे की जो डेफिनेशन है उसको भी फॉलो कर रहा है. सपोज इट कुड बी एरे नेम, पी कुड बी एरे नेम. Okay, and ij could be its dimensions, and p could be function name, and ij could be its arguments. Okay, so what happens, so now id is there on the top of the stack. So हम इसे किस प्रोडक्शन से रिड्यूस करें, शुड वी कंसिडर इट एज प्रोसीजर और शुड वी कंसिडर इट एज एरे. सो हम जिससे रिड्यूस करेंगे, सो जो आपका आर एच एस में होगा, सपोज आपके पास जो आपने प्रोसीजर का लिया हुआ है, सपोज आपने प्रोसीजर ड्राइव्स, सपोज यू हैव रिटन p id comma id. Okay, and suppose array you have written array drives p id comma id. Suppose you have written in this way. Okay, so whenever you will be reducing this thing with something, so either it will be reduced using procedure or it will be reduced using array. So it will not be here in this state, we cannot decide whether should we consider it as procedure or should we consider it as array. ठीक है, तो आप जो भी कंसिडर करोगे तो उसको रिप्लेस करके या तो प्रोसीजर आ जाएगा या फिर एरे आ जाएगा. सो दिस इज द स्टेट इन विच वी से दैट इट इज़ अ reduce conflict. So what solution can be given to this thing? What can we do if it is a procedure? Okay, if it is a procedure, then instead of writing id here, we can write it as pro id. So whenever we will come across pro id, it means that it is a argument of procedure, and if it will be single id only, then we will consider it as it is a simple, it is a number, it is a identifier, and it can be an array dimension also. ठीक है, तो डिपेंडिंग ऑन अगेन ये जो रिड्यूस कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, तो हमारे पास कुछ एम्बिगियस ऐसे कुछ केसेस होते हैं जिसमें हम ये डिसाइड नहीं कर पाते आरएचएस को देखकर कि वेदर ये प्रोसीजर है या एरे है. सो ये हम क्या कर सकते हैं, हम इसको सेपरेशन कर सकते हैं. प्रोसीजर की आईडीज़ को हम प्रो आईडी कहते हैं, एरे की आईडीज़ को हम सिंपल आईडी कह दें, बिकॉज एरे की डायमेंशंस तो 1 2 3 4 होती हैं. ओके, सो या आप उसे एरे आईडी भी कह सकते हो. सो अगर हम जो प्रोडक्शन रूल्स में जो हम टर्मिनल्स यूज़ कर रहे हैं, अगर हम उन्हें प्रॉपर नेम्स के साथ यूज़ करें, सो दिस विल रिमूव दिस रिड्यूस कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. Okay, so this is all about shift reduce parsing. So what we have studied in this lecture, that what is shift reduce parsing. Then we studied about some terms, like we studied about handles. What are handles, what is reduction, what is right sentential form, what is handle pruning. Then we saw an example of shift reduce parsing approach. फिर हमने ये देखा कि शिफ्ट रिड्यूस पार्सिंग कैन बी एफिशिएंटली इम्प्लीमेंटेड यूजिंग स्टैक. सो वी सॉ द स्टैक इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, उसमें कौन से ऑपरेशंस परफॉर्म होते हैं, वी सॉ दैट. एंड देन फाइनली we ended with the conflicts in shift reduce parsing. So this whole topic is very important, and each and everything is important. You can be given with an example and you have to apply shift reduce parsing on it. You can be asked for what are the conflicts in shift reduce parsing, or you can be asked about the definition of some terms that we did here. So this is one of the easiest parsing approach, and it is bottom up parsing approach, in which we start with the given input string and we try to reach to the start symbol of the given grammar. So any queries can be asked. This is all about shift reduce parsing.